I am a 25-year-old female who lives alone in a 2-bedroom house. I guess it was because of the fact me and my boyfriend of 2 years broke up 6 months ago, as he became increasingly obsessed with me and even started stalking me. It was too much, and once we broke up, he moved out. However, we would spend both our Christmases together, warm cuddled by the fire with friends and family. Christmas was always that time of year where we would feel both joy and excitement. Anyways, I planned on having this Christmas alone and still enjoying it, as Christmas only rolls around once a year. I sat on my couch and looked outside the frosty window. The snow fell gently outside, covering the quiet neighborhood in a white blanket. Christmas lights worn on the houses gave a warm glow on the streets. I nestled on the couch with a cup of hot cocoa, watching the flames dance in the fireplace and enjoying the peace of the holiday season. The clock struck midnight, signaling the arrival of Christmas Day. Just as I began to drift into sleep, a sudden noise jolted me awake. I listened intently, my senses on high alert. Another sound, faint but unmistakable, echoed through the silent house. Someone was here. I strained my ears, trying to find the source of the noise. Footsteps, slow and deliberate, creaked on the wooden floor above. Panic surged through me as I realized the intruder was inside my home. How could this have happened? I made sure all the doors were locked and the keys were out of sight. I didn't have time to think. I grabbed my phone, fingers trembling, ready to dial 911, but then hesitated. What if they heard me? I slipped off the couch, tiptoeing towards the hallway. The floorboards groaned beneath my weight, and I tensed up at the noise. The footsteps above stopped, and I held my breath. The seconds ticked by like hours, and when the sound resumed, it was accompanied by a sinister scraping noise, like metal against wood. I was terrified, but curiosity had the best of me. I crept up the stairs, one by one, slowly trying not to make any noise. The intruder was in one of the bedrooms, and as I approached, I heard them muttering, which was unclear. A shiver ran down my spine. I peered into the room from the outside, my eyes widening in horror. A figure, obscured by the darkness, was hunched over a small, ornately wrapped box beneath the Christmas tree. They had a knife which was reflecting from the moonlight outside. My heart raced, and I fought the urge to scream. The intruder seemed fixated on the box, muttering to themselves as if in a hypnotic state. The room was filled with an eerie energy, and I realized this was no ordinary break-in. Something far more sinister was unfolding in my home on Christmas night. Summoning every ounce of courage, I took a step forward. The floor creaked and the intruder snapped their head in my direction. I froze, our eyes locking in a moment of chilling recognition. The dim light revealed who the intruder was, a face I recognized from the past. It was a face I thought I had buried in the depths of my memories, the face of a man I had long ago forgotten about, my ex. His eyes bore into mine, and a smirky smile played on his lips. Tension, confusion, and fear surrounded the room. He whispered my name, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. "I've come for what you took from me," he hissed, the knife gleaming in his hand. Fear turned into rage as recognition dawned upon me. This was the man I had testified against for stalking and even assault. He had a restraining order not to come here again, and he violated those terms. Without another word, he lunged at me, the knife in the air attempting to stab me. Instinct kicked in and I dodged the attack, stumbling backward. The Christmas tree swayed dangerously as the struggle unfolded. I managed to grab a nearby lamp, swinging it wildly to create a makeshift barrier. He circled me like a predator, his eyes gleaming with a madness that fueled his relentless emotion. In the chaos, my hand brushed against something cold and metallic on the floor. I seized the opportunity and grabbed a fallen ornament, the sharp edges now become a weapon in my hands. The intruder lunged again, but this time, I was ready. I had my ornament ready to swing, and just as he got close to me, with all my force I slashed him in the arm. He groaned and dropped the knife he had on the floor, creating a loud, echoey noise that filled the room. He laid on the floor with his arm in his hand and looked at me cursing. I took this opportunity to run out the front door. I stumbled onto the porch. Panic fueled my steps as I sprinted through the snow-covered yard, the bitter cold biting into my skin. Glancing over my shoulder, I saw him at the doorway, his devil gaze fixed on me. A neighbor's house loomed in the distance. I pounded on the door, my breath forming clouds in the freezing air. The door creaked open, revealing my neighbor, still dressed in their holiday pajamas. Words spilled out of my mouth in a panicked state as I speak about the nightmarish events that had unfolded in my home. The neighbor, sensing the urgency in my voice, dialed 911, and the wail of sirens grew louder in the distance. As the police arrived, they swept through my house, finding no trace of the intruder. No footage, no evidence, and no leads that could have led back to him. The blood that leaked on the floor had disappeared as well as the ornament I had to stab him. The police took my statement, their expressions a mix of suspicion and concern. I knew the tale I told sounded bizarre, but I did my best to explain. In the days that followed, the investigation yielded little. The mysterious intruder had left no trace, as if he had vanished into thin air. Now, every creak of a floorboard, every unexpected noise sent my heart racing. Now this joyful holiday that we call Christmas is just a yearly reminder of the horrifying event.